Lord, I receive direction and guidance for my pathway through life. In the Eucharist, I receive food to strengthen me to live out what I just heard proclaimed in the Gospel. Thinking of meeting Jesus in these two ways, I am reminded again of the story of the woman who touched the hem of Jesus' garment. I want to share a couple of incidents that illustrates this gospel theme. One is the story of a young priest. He phoned me very anxious and afraid. He had just found out he had cancer of the vocal cords and he had to have his voice box removed in 3 weeks. He was telling me he was desperate. He had been ordained only 6 years. As I prayed with him, I felt the Lord wanted me to tell him about the Eucharist. I said, "Father, I can pray with you now on the telephone, and I will. But this morning, didn't you meet Jesus? Don't you meet him every day?" What I didn't know was that this priest didn't celebrate Mass daily. I told him, "Father, every single day when you go to Mass, when you take the sacred host, when you eat it, you meet Jesus. The woman only touched the hem of Jesus' cloak, but you take Jesus and receive him into your body. You have him as food. Do you realize that Jesus is actually going down through your throat? There is no better one to go to than Jesus. You ask Jesus to heal you." I heard him crying over the phone. He kept saying to me, "Oh, sister, thank you, thank you." 3 weeks later, he went in for his surgery. He phoned me later to tell me that he didn't have the surgery. The doctors discovered the cancer was gone and he had brand new vocal cords. I never even found out his name. About a year later, I got word about him through a friend of his. Before his illness, this young priest had stopped celebrating Mass except on Sunday. He had become very flippant about the Mass. God used this experience of cancer to transform his life. This priest was totally healed, but not only physically. He became a Eucharistic-centered priest. The Eucharist became for him a time to meet the living Jesus. Like the woman at the well in John 4, he started to meet Jesus at this greatest of all wells, where you drink and you never thirst. Yes, miracles do happen.